welcome you back to BLACKSITE tonight. We're going to talk about the truckers' boycott after the Trump fraud case ruling, in which they're asking him to pay $368 million. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment on this video. Kevin O'Leary and many New York business owners behind the scenes are very wary about the Trump ruling, in which he has to somehow pay $368 million in a fraud case that had to do with his real estate empire. In that decision, which makes this decision so cruel and so reprehensible, is that the bank was paid back. There was nobody who was violated. This judge went on a rule that was never used before in the history of New York State. And he used it on President Trump, it seems like, as a weapon to destroy him or destroy the empire he has used. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to listen to Kevin O'Leary and see what he has to say, and I'll make a comment after what he says.
Your Ventures Chairman, Shark Tank investor. You know, Kevin, you had mentioned, and it was a very profound kind of comment, that, some of these other businesses do have right to be concerned, whether they like Donald Trump or not. Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Well, this award, just leaving the whole Trump thing out of it and seeing what occurred here, and I'm no different than any other investor. I'm shocked at this. I can't even understand or fathom the decision at all. There's no rationale for it. And so let me give you a real-time experience I'm having regarding this, and I'm not the only one. It doesn't matter what the governor says. New York was already a loser state, like California is a loser state. There are many loser states because of policy, high taxes, uncompetitive regulation. It was already on the top of the list of being a loser state. I would never invest in New York now, and I'm not the only person saying that. And here's a real-time situation. In development in real estate right now, the hottest asset class is very high-end data centers. They cost anywhere from $2.5 to $3.5 billion each. They're very expensive. They require low power. You need permits. But most of the major institutions in the world need more data centers, and that's why developers like me are doing this. Now, you need power. So New York has Niagara Falls. Normally, you'd consider that to put in one of these facilities, create 400 jobs, 5 more jobs for each one of those for auxiliary services. I can't go to New York. So I'm going to Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia. Governor Stitt, Kevin Stitt, my staff have met with him. Governor Bergen, the same thing. Governor Justice. Those are winner states. They don't do things like this. I have to syndicate that debt and all that equity. We're talking billions of dollars here. Do you think any foreign institution or any private equity firm or any pension fund would touch New York? No, and that's why New Yorkers should be concerned. The fine people of New York should ask themselves, why are we such a loser state? How are we going to attract business? It's not just the existing businesses that are fleeing out to Texas and Florida. What about new money like this that I'm talking about, like a $4 billion data center? Not a chance I would put that in New York. Zero probability, never. And so they've got a lot of work to do to find themselves getting out of this situation. This has all occurred post-pandemic. Winner states versus loser states. Look at Tennessee right now, fastest growing city in America, Nashville. Winner state, good policy, competitive taxes. You've got to start thinking about this in the context of winners and losers. New York, mega loser state.
So Kevin, what did you think of Governor Hochul saying this is like a unique one and done because Donald Trump went too far and so nefarious? You guys, if you're just doing what you should be doing, you have nothing to worry about. But they're very worried about it.
Yeah, we're very worried. Every investor's worried because where is the victim? Who lost money? This is some arbitrary decision a judge made. This policy and what this says, what does this say about the bar, the legal bar? in New York, aren't they going to question this judge? What is this? $355 million, and there's dollars as a penalty, and there's plus interest at 9%, and there's no victim? I mean, I'm sorry, her words fall on deaf ears to everybody. There's nothing she can say to justify this decision. And this has nothing to do with Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. Forget about Trump. This is not a Trump situation. This is a New York problem now. The whole world is looking at this saying, what are you doing to yourselves?
And what they're basically saying is that Lieutenant James used her office as Attorney General, in which she said she was elected, that she would somehow get Donald Trump. She used the progressive law system in New York State and a progressive judge to convict him on civil fraud charges where there's no victim. How can you convict somebody and there's no victim? The banks got paid. Nobody was harmed. The deal was perfect. So what was the decision by this judge? And that's what he's telling Hochul. If you can do this to Trump, you can do this to anybody. But not only did they do that, they went and fined his sons and barred them for 2 years. How can this go on? So now you have truckers out here saying that they won't deliver in New York City. Basically saying that they will boycott New York City for the decision that was made by this progressive judge. We've seen it with E. Jean Carroll. Now we've seen it with the fraud case. Now we got the Alvin Bragg case coming March 25th. All of this is happening in liberal, progressive New York to seem like their job and one and only job in New York is not to get the criminals who are beating up cops and the migrants who are robbing citizens of the state of New York, is to get one guy, and that one guy is Donald Trump. And that's sad to say, because what does this he says for the bar in New York City, when you can use lawfare against your enemies and take them out. This is, like he said, no different than Russia, in which Putin takes out his so-called enemies or so-called competitors or so-called anybody who's running against them. This is what the same thing Biden is doing, but under the cloak of liberalism, the press, social media. This is election interference. It is election interference at the highest order. All of this is coming from the White House. We saw what was said with Nathan Hare going to the White House basically to meet with the White House counsel. What is he meeting with them for? Unless to talk about how they're going to set up Donald Trump and how they're going to use Fulton County, New York City, how they're going to use Washington, D.C. with Jack Smith. So expect this trucker boycott to get even bigger. I'm telling you, I want to thank you for listening to BLACKSITE. Hope you subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, but also share this video.